I'd like to call the meeting to order. If you would stand for a moment in silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone who's watching from home. I would ask for a motion to permit Trustee Wigginton to participate remotely.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded to allow Trustee Wigginton to participate remotely. Madam Clerk, call the roll on that, please.
Trustee DeVore?
Present.
This is aye or nay for...
Oh, sorry,
Trustee,
aye.
Trustee Gatt?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
We have 4.
Thank you. That passes. Now roll call, please.
Trustee DeVore?
Present.
Trustee Gatt?
Present.
Trustee Kazam?
Present.
Trustee Reichert?
Present.
Trustee Wigginton?
Okay.
Present.
Thank you. And Trustee Weisenberg had a family emergency. He's unable to be here tonight. I'm going to try and move things along quickly because Trustee Kazam has to leave about 20 minutes into the meeting, and we could be in danger of not having a quorum if anybody else has to leave, so please keep that in mind. Madam Clerk, you have some correspondence?
I do. This was sent to me from Mr. Raymond Lockhart to the board. I would like to express my gratitude to the Board of Trustees and all the diligent work they do for the citizens. On the vote for the 0.25% sales tax, I think we should have done it. On a $100 bill, it means $125 more in taxes. Whereas I appreciate the concerns of various businesses, I have to say, never once have I chosen an establishment to enter because of the amount of sales tax. I'd be willing to be that this is never on the patron's mind in choosing where to shop/eat, etc. Lastly, being a lifelong Heights resident and staunch supporter of all we stand for, I am abhorred by the recent erection of 2 businesses that show utter disregard to the needs of the handicapped, the new mall and Beck's, whereas I will not take to social media and bash these places. When asked about them by outsiders, I will let them know I do not frequent them due to lack of access for the handicapped. Raymond Lockhart, 722 East Marietta.
Thank you. Is that all the correspondence?
That is all correspondence. Thank you.
Okay, we would be at approval of the Board of Trustees minutes from March 12th and March 19th, 2024. I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Any questions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving both sets of minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Trustee Wigginton. Those opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. We have comments from the audience on agenda items. If anyone here is tonight to address the board, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and try and keep your remarks under 5 minutes. Anyone here tonight? Public comment? Public comment going once? Twice? Public comments closed. We'll be at old business. Any old business coming before the board?
Mr. Mayor, one quick thing. I wanted to just update the board. Trustee DeVore and I sat down with Chief Sutton as well as Chief Reichert. I'm sorry. We sat down earlier this week or last week to talk about the fire department budget, and I am pleased to report that Chief Decker and I, as well as Trustee DeVore and Administrator Sutton, were able to reduce the budget for this year down to numbers a little bit more manageable. If you had seen in the hearing, in the budget hearing today, our numbers are, for the fire department specifically, are below $1 million. And this has been done, basically, we've moved some starting dates back to August of 2024. We've adjusted some salaries and utilized some of the projected surpluses. But for 2024-2025 budget year, the numbers do look a lot better. Now, it is important to note that this board needs to plan ahead because with moving the starting dates back, we will be presented with a similar circumstance next year when we go into budgeting. So we will need to find, again, some additional revenue. The benefit of doing this is that we are able to project some of the revenues coming from bags as well as cookies and see kind of those numbers coming in to see if we are meeting revenue expectations and hopefully offsetting some of the costs. I also understand that Chief Decker is there tonight. Chief Decker has been looking into some grant funding that hopefully, I think it's called a safety grant that will allow us to hopefully pay for some full-time positions. We would just have to match with essentially a 1 year for 3 paid positions. And to write that grant application, we did use, I think, and Chief Sutton, correct me if I'm wrong, about $1,500 for Vickers to draft that, so we have the best opportunity to hopefully get that grant.
That's correct.
And that is for these 3 positions.
Go ahead. Did we lose him?
No, I'm still here. So yeah, that will be to hopefully offset some of the costs of our full-time positions. But again, I do want to reiterate that we were able to get the numbers down, but just fiscally need to focus that the numbers that we saw in our February budget session will be, and we should plan on seeing those numbers in the 2025-2026 budget year. It's not like those have gone away. We're just pushing things back a little bit so that we can see some of the projections with the 2 revenue generating properties that are new to the Heights.
Okay, thank you for that update.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Chief Decker, we were able to get that company to write the grant for us?
Yeah, they are working on it. I was unsure if it was 12 or 1,500. I believe it's 1,200.
Okay.
So it's a little bit less than what we thought. I've been speaking with him the last few days. I know he's been communicating with Seth as well, and I have a little bit more information to get to him. We may have quite a bit more. It is due a week from Friday, but we should have no problem getting it submitted. He believes we have a very good opportunity, very good chance of being successful. So
When do we hear about that grant?
I've heard about 5 or 6 weeks after submitting. I wouldn't bet on that, but if so, then would that be about the beginning of June or so that we should know? So we should know well in advance of the potential start date. But I think, yeah, let's just hope. I think we have an excellent opportunity. We certainly fit the parameters of the grant. When you read the description and why villages and cities should go for it, we're right there. The definition of this grant, or the reasons for it, is what we have. Being unsure, starting something new, it's perfect for us.
Thank you.
And Chief, I'm sorry, would you explain a little bit about what a game changer this grant could be, and talk a little bit about kind of what the village's responsibility would be, and kind of what other communities you've seen kind of use this grant as?
Sure, it is. As you said, it's a 3-to-1, so the village would be responsible for the amount of personnel they put on, that is hired. It would pay for it for 3 years. The village's responsibility would be 1 year. It used to be a 3-3, so 3 years responsibility for the village after, but no longer the case. Some communities have asked for grants, and then immediately following, they've asked for another. So I don't want to put the cart before the horse. So hopefully we'll get this and we'll see revenues. But in a plan to move forward, this gives us an opportunity to. We were planning on spending the money anyway, but it certainly gives us a lot of breathing room. And I know the conversation was discussed, at least in the meeting, about putting that money aside for assistance in the future. It would certainly be a big help as well, if that's possible. It would give us the ability to see how revenues go, also see what happens with our call volume, how it's working with the hiring of one person, as well as the stipend positions could accompany that. So it gives me a great opportunity to kind of see how things are going to work out. Hopefully, praying that it will work, will be awarded the grant.
Thank you. Any other old business? Let's get into new business. The first is economic and community development. There's one resolution, Resolution 2024-03, a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding with the Tri-County Regional Planning Commission for the Peoria Heights Active Transportation Plan. Trustee Kazam, I'd ask for a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So this has to do, as the mayor said, with the active transportation plan. It's we have a $10,000 match, and we're receiving $50,000. It's basically a contract or agreement between ourselves, the Village of Peoria Heights, and Tri-County Regional Planning, who will help us with the paying the bills and that type of thing. I'll let Director Aldrich elaborate on that.
Yeah, that's basically, this grant, they're really administrating the contract and everything, so it's very little work on us other than, meeting with the consultant and reviewing plans and things like that. I did meet with the consultant, Jim Klein, last Friday. He came from Virginia, and we reviewed all the village, and I think he expects to return sometime around the first couple of weeks in May, and then we'll have our first open public meetings with the advisory groups.
Thank you. Then really quickly, what is an active transportation plan and why is it important?
Yeah, active transportation plan is, we used to call them bike ped plans. So this will establish what we have, building on what the comp plan, said, and ultimately lead to a program that then we'll use that to establish budgets and go for further grants to promote bike and ped facilities.
Thank you. Discussion?
Is this budgeted for?
Yes.
Out of next year's budget, the one we're getting ready to pass?
Any other questions? Madam Clerk?
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gatt?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Trustee Wigginton?
Aye.
That passes. Anything?
I'm sorry.
I was going to ask if you had anything else, but you're leaving. All right.
I apologize. Thank you so much,
Yep.
Mayor. No, that's everything.
Wayne, anything under economic development? Any
I was
updates?
going to say, you may want to comment on a few of the things that we've been discussing earlier.
Zoning code, I think the selection committee is going to meet this Thursday, and hopefully we pick a group for the zoning rewrites and form-based code this week. Grants, we're going for a grant, as was discussed, for Route 29 lighting. Senator Durbin's request went in last week, and we just heard today that Senator Duckworth's is due on Friday, and then Congressman Sorensen will request monies, the same project from him as well.
That's all for the 29 project?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We did not, unfortunately, Monroe Avenue corridor, we did not get that grant. So we have requested a debrief from the US DOT, and they usually give good guidance. I've sat in like 5 of those, and I think they'll give us good guidance for the next round.
Okay, let's get into administration. The first is an ordinance 2024-1727, an ordinance authorizing imposition of a residential waste collection and disposal fee. Trustee DeVore, I'd ask for a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-1727.
Thank you. In a second?
Second.
Go ahead, Trustee DeVore.
So this is what we were talking about, where we are going to increase the garbage waste fee, where the village was paying half of the bill in order to come to a
balanced budget, we are going to be putting the entire bill for just garbage, not recycling, onto the homeowner, the residents for that. So this will take the bill from $10 to $20. Administration has heard the requests of this board and the citizens, and these will come in separate bills. So where before we were getting the garbage and the water on the same bill, they will be mailed out as the garbage being separated from the water. So I feel like that kind of tackles a little bit of the issue that some of us were having with it.
Yeah, just to add to that, Trustee DeVore, this will take place May 1st of this year. You'll see it on your August bill, and also just a reminder that this board will have to pass this ordinance annually.
Okay.
So,
Discussion?
Is there?
Yes, Mayor.
Hold on.
No, go ahead. Let him do it.
Trustee
Go ahead,
Riker.
Matt.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Matt.
Okay, so I was just wondering, and as Administrator Sutton said, that we'll need to pass this on an annual basis. I was looking at the G&O contract moving forward. Based on the contract, there's a schedule of increasing fees that G&O will be charging on an annual basis. So it looks like by the time the contract is over, the garbage contract will be about $86,000 to $90,000 higher than it is right now. So I'm concerned that this projection, and it looks like it just lasts for 1 year, doesn't get us to the true cost of the garbage. And if this ordinance is to levy the entire cost of the garbage onto the residents, this may not cover it, and we may have to continue to increase the fees on the residents. I was just wondering if that was the plan.
I don't have it in front of me, Trustee Wigton, but I believe there are some overages built in, if I'm correct, unless Stephanie remembers of the contract. There were some overages built in because of some, whether it be delinquent accounts or suspended accounts. I know there was one issue last year we had, it was in our contract, that they would increase their rate if the tonnage went over, which it did, but they did not bill us. So they put it in there, but they didn't follow through, which I thought was great on their end. But I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to, but I'd have to go back and look at it.
Trustee Wigginton, some of your concerns are part of why this ordinance does need to be reviewed annually. It's so that the board can review the increased costs that Chief Sutton mentioned are built into the contract that are kind of unknown. It's also to review the senior freeze assessment to see the size of the number of people that will receive the reduced garbage rate, and in order to best customize the rates every year so that the residents are paying the cost of the contract, the true cost of the contract.
Clerk Turner, do we know how many presently residents have a senior freeze?
I do not know, but I do know that the water account technician is aware of that number, and I'm sure that administration would be happy to provide that to the board during working hours when she can tell us. I'm sorry, I just don't have that.
Yeah, no, that's not at all, and I appreciate, I wonder if, given some of these unknowns, if this would be better. It sounds like I actually need to do a little bit of research, and that's on me, and I apologize to the board. I just don't know if, as far as all of these concerns, if maybe we should delay, I don't know.
Trustee Wigginton, I can assure you that the calculations for the charges for this year were done separately by myself, looking at the receipts that were brought in, so factoring the people who do not pay, the delinquents, the delays in payments, as well as the water account technician based off of her billing. And we were within $3,000 of each other, which we're expecting that $3,000 is going to be needed for, I was on the higher end than her. And we did go with my numbers. We're expecting that $3,000 is going to be used to offset the increase in postage that we're going to see for the separate bills for garbage.
Wow. So Clerk Turner, as far as, and maybe administrators, as far as this, the necessity of the urgency of this matter tonight, Is this something that is necessary, or is it more in tune with the timing of passage of our budget for 2024, 2025?
Well, it's scheduled to go into effect May 1st, so I think passing it, I think it's almost impossible to get it down to a pinpoint number, Trustee Wigington. I think it's kind of still a moving target, and the point that I made earlier about having this passed every year, I think that's the reason behind that. But I don't think that we're going to be able to pinpoint this down to where you want it. I think waiting a couple weeks, I mean, I could go either way on it, but I don't think we're going to get any closer.
Okay, go ahead, Trustee Reichert.
I just want to know if GNO has online bill pay for anybody that might be interested in having it automatically withdrawn from their accounts. Maybe it wouldn't be so.
You will be.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I know it seems like a silly thing, but with everybody wanting to do the water online, they'd probably want to know if GNO has online bill pay.
Yeah, when you sign in, you'll be able to look at both your accounts.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll still be from the village website.
Oh, it's still be.
not-
Oh, okay.
It's not through
Oh, it's not through
from-
GNO.
It's
Oh,
from the village
okay.
website, yeah.
That's where I misunderstood. Okay. So it's still all in one place.
Anyone?
Mayor, and I don't know if I just do it, I would feel a little comfortable if we could delay this to our very next meeting. I know we need it May 1, but I think if in 2 weeks we came back, I would have a little bit more answers and feel a little bit more comfortable with this. So I would move for just a deferment to our following meeting, if that is at all possible.
All right, is there a second? Motion fails for lack of a second. Any other discussion on the main motion?
So then I will say then, I will have to come out against this.
right.
The reason I come out against it, Mayor and my fellow trustees, is that I've done a little bit of research on surrounding communities. Bartonville, the village of Bartonville has no pickup. The individual residents do their own pickup based on, contracting with, various companies. Washington, Illinois is currently at $15.25 a month. Morton is $18.50 a month. So we will be above our neighboring communities. Peoria, they work that into their, basically they have another fee that they work it into. In fact, even our other communities to our north, Evanston, Illinois, their garbage collection fee is $11.10 a month. And Chicago, Illinois' assessed fee for garbage collection is $9.50 per month. So in essence, we're going to be double the cost of Chicago for trash collection. So I unfortunately cannot support this. So I will be voting against this fee, and that's where I stand.
Okay, anyone else? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Trustee Wigington?
Nay.
All right, that passes with 3 ayes and 1 opposed. Trustee DeVore, I know you did a lot of, whether you were for this or against it, you did a lot of work on this, and thank you for that. Okay, you still have the ball. So next is Resolution 2024-04, a resolution approving extension of an agreement with Cardinal Infrastructure for federal advisory and lobbying services. Trustee DeVore, I'd ask for a motion to approve that.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-04.
A second, please.
Second?
Thank you. Go ahead, Trustee DeVore.
Okay, so this resolution would just be an extension of our agreement with Cardinal Infrastructure. This would take our agreement with them to April 30th of 2025. There is a cost of that of $15,000, which it is budgeted for. And I just want to remind everybody that Cardinal Infrastructure has been really beneficial in helping us lobby for some of these federal funds so that we could continue to make increases, and it really helps Director Aldridge with all of our economic planning and things like that.
Thank you. And before we open it up for discussion, would you or Director Aldridge be able to give us some examples of how this relationship has benefited?
Well, I mean, it's really great. They've held their fees ever since we started working with them about 2 years ago. So very much appreciated. But I think Cardinal has helped us with all our major grants so far, including all the earmarks we've applied for. Prospect Road, the $2 million on Prospect Road, earmarks from Congressman Sorensen, the water, and various other things they've helped us out with. So, and really, I think one of the things we don't discount is just our relationships with our delegates and things like that really draws attention to Peoria Heights. So I think all these things they've done for us, they remind us of grant opportunities and really the process that goes into getting these funds, putting us in front of staff people, maybe not the delegates, but the staff people who sometimes make the decisions. So I really appreciate their help, and they've been good friends of mine for years and just really do great work. So
I would agree. Discussion. Wayne, their updates are really good. Are you disseminating their updates to the board? Cardinals?
I don't, but I can.
Would you please start
we
that?
can do that.
I
Yeah.
think it'd be helpful. All right, if you're ready for the question, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee DeVore.
Aye.
Trustee Gett.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert.
Aye.
Trustee Wigginton.
Aye.
All right, that passes. Thank you. Next is non-contractual, non-union employees raises. Trustee DeVore asks for a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the contractual and non-union employee raises.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Gett. Go ahead, Trustee DeVore.
So when we have set our raises at 3% for all of our union employees, we agreed that we were going to do the same for our non-contractual and non-union employees. We do have to vote on this every year since they don't have a contract with us and they are not under a collective bargaining agreement. So we did discuss this when we increased everyone else, and then just annually we have to go through and make sure that the few employees that we have that are not in a collective bargaining or not that do not have a contract with us, that we're going to continue that increase every year.
Very good explanation. Anything else?
Yeah, that covers 5 employees. That's the administrative assistant, financial assistant, water technician, the director of the landlord registration program, and 1 staff member at the police department. So,
Discussion?
I just think it's our 100% behind this. These people, they do a lot. They pretty much keep the village running on a smooth path, and I couldn't imagine anybody voting against it. So that's all I have to say on that.
Well said, Trustee Gett. Thank you. Anyone else? Madam Clerk?
Trustee DeVore.
Aye.
Trustee Gett.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert.
Aye.
Trustee Wigginton.
Aye.
All right, that passes. Next is ordinance 2024-1728, an ordinance amending Title VII, Chapter 2 of the Village Code of the Village of Peoria Heights to regulate temporary dumpsters. Trustee DeVore, ask for a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-1728.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so this is an ordinance in order to control, I guess, a little bit more on how the temporary dumpsters, where they're placed and how long they can sit. This prohibits them from sitting too long, and just gives us a little bit better of an understanding for the residents to understand where the dumpsters can go and how long they can stay on the property.
Thank you. Council, anything you can add to that? I know you drafted this.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. That's exactly right. This sets forth that temporary dumpsters will remain on paved surfaces, on property that is not village-owned, where there is a principal structure located. The regulations set forth here are modeled after the ordinance regarding pod storage. So they're going to be very similar restrictions and requirements.
Thank you. And this was really complaint-driven?
It was. We received a lot of complaints over the last couple months on dumpsters that are left on properties for months. So as council stated, this is modeled after the pod ordinance. So this gives a little bit more, options in regulating those. Now, it is 60 days, but they can get longer if the chief of police approves it, and we'll take that on a case-by-case basis. So.
Anyone else? Madam Clerk?
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gatt?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Trustee Wigginton?
Aye.
That passes. Next is approval for the use of Tower Park for Friday Night Heights on First Fridays, May through October 2024. Oh, sorry about that. Alarm. Trustee DeVore, ask for a motion to approve that.
I make a motion to approve the use of Tower Park for Friday Night Heights on First Fridays, May through October of 2024.
And a second?
Second.
Go ahead, Trustee DeVore.
Okay, so this event, this is, I think, the third season that they've done this, and so this is from Sam Heppard from Clink puts on this event where they bring in vendors and music and use Tower Park for the first Fridays of the month. I think it's been very successful and great, and I would love to see us pass this to continue it in our community.
I agree. I don't see Sam here tonight, but he really does a lot for the community. So, any questions or discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gatt?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Trustee Wigginton?
Aye.
All right, that's approved. Next is approval for the use of Tower Park for Kiwanis Club Pedal into Spring on Sunday, April 21, 2024. Trustee DeVore, I would ask for a motion to approve that.
I make a motion to approve the use of Tower Park for the Kiwanis Club Pedal into Spring on Sunday, April 21st of 2024.
Second?
Second.
All right, second. Go ahead, Trustee DeVore.
So the Kiwanis Club wants to do like a safety workshop. There's going to be tune-ups, a very family-friendly event, teaching bicycle safety, things like that. It looks from their proposal like it's going to be great. Food vendors, potentially live music. I also think, especially with us working towards having our new like bike, we're trying to create like how bike paths are in the village and things like that. I think this is a great event to have here, and I don't see why we wouldn't approve it.
They're here. They're here too. Yeah, okay, welcome. Billy, I know you're a Kiwanis. Are you with this group or you're all, okay?
Yeah, my name is Ben King. I'm the president of the Peoria Heights Kiwanis Club. Yeah, it's a great event we're trying to put together. I actually have the date wrong, and that is my fault. It's the 28th of April. It's the last Sunday in April. I put that wrong on the proposal. That is 100% my fault. So I hope that doesn't change anything, but it is a great...
Billy,
that is the idea, yes. We're trying to get businesses and community together along with some of the youth in the community, get them involved. We've talked to both the police department and several Bushwhacker and Trek, and yeah, we're going to try to make it as good an event as we can and very family friendly. And hopefully we continue to do it for years to come and make it a bigger event if things go well. We're kind of start small and see how it grows. So
what, we don't have a lot of people here tonight, but we do have a lot of people that watch the meetings. So would you tell us about your club and how you would become a member and some of the things that you do as Kiwanis?
Sure. I mean, Kiwanis is a global charity event, our charity club that is focused on helping underprivileged youth, especially handicapped youth, those types of things. The division that we're in does a lot of outreach, and there's clubs in Peoria and all over the place. So it's a well-known, just like we have a group at Peoria Heights High School, the Key Club that we sponsor as well. I got involved with it just because I live in the community and was looking to find a way to give back and, get involved. And now I'm the president, so, that's how things happen, I'm sure you guys all know being on this. But yeah, we're trying to grow. We're a pretty small club. We've recently taken back the Key Club from the Peoria chapter because we've got enough members and enough money to support them and give them scholarships and those types of things. So we're still growing, but this is one of the things that we'd like to start to do to get more involved in the community and with the youth. And so, yeah, we think it's a great start. So.
It's hard to get people to volunteer today and to be in service clubs, so thank you all for what you're doing. We appreciate it.
Great, thank you.
I might have missed it. You corrected the date. It's the 28th. What time?
We're planning from like 11 to 4. We're kind of thinking like after church, those types of things. Get some kids up here in the lunchtime area, but then, have them home at a decent time as well, and time for setup and cleanup as well. So.
If you would exchange contact with Mike Mealy, sitting right there, we'll make sure we get some publicity out about this as well, so.
And we will have some publicity on it as well, through social media and our outlets, so, yeah.
Okay.
Do I need to change my motion to have the correct date? or we
Thank
can
you.
get
Yes,
something?
please.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'd like to make a motion to use the Tower Park on Sunday, April 28th of 2024.
Second.
Well, let's do it this way, as long as it's all right with council. If the maker of the motion and the seconder of the motion are okay with that change, is that okay to do it that way? I forget who made the second. Was it you, Trustee Gatt?
Trustee Wigginton and Trustee Gatt made the motion, or seconded at the same time, so.
Trustee Gatt, we'll give it to you. Are you
Yeah.
you're okay with that?
Yeah.
Does everyone understand then?
Go ahead, Trustee Gatt.
Any objection then to doing it that way?
No.
The council's okay with it. All right.
No objections.
Thank you, Trustee DeVore, for making that correction. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gatt?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert? Aye. Trustee Wigginton?
Aye.
That passes. Trustee DeVore, any updates on administration or finance?
I think we've covered it.
Anything from you?
We covered it. I have some miscellaneous.
Okay, we would be at miscellaneous business then.
Just as a quick update, just finished completing, or organizing with G&O a spring cleanup, kind of what we did last year. The dates are, it's for Heights residents only. It'll take place at our Peoria, at the Public Works Department. They'll drop off the dumpster on May 2nd. The dates are May 3rd through May 4th, from 8 a.m. to 5. These are for Heights residents only. There will be code enforcement and a police officer there just to confirm that these are Heights residents. And what we'll do is we'll post everything online for what they are taking and what they will not take. So that was just confirmed today. So it was a success a couple years ago when we did it, so we're going to do it again.
What were the times on that again, Chief?
8 to 5, May 3rd through 4th, which is a Friday and Saturday.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to just mention to everybody that I've reached out to the ice pigging company again for another round. The proposal would be basically Lake Street South all the way down past Beck's, and then possibly our raw water mains from our wells. They just, we just need to get on it to see if we can get in the summertime. They're going to be around the Midwest in the summer, and I'll have that proposal to the administration so they can get that to you guys.
Chris, roughly what would that encompass percentage-wise of?
That would probably be about another quarter of the village. I would think that we would
We've done
probably...
about a quarter and this.
We've done about a quarter. This would be up to about a half, yeah.
Okay. Any questions for Superintendent Chandler on that? Any other miscellaneous business?
I do. Do we have any update from Woodard and Curran?
I spoke with Jim Rivard. They're still working on a proposal for the appraisal. So this morning, he said still about 2 weeks away. They're meeting with their staff as well as Raftelsys, who's a group that really specializes in these appraisals. So it'll be kind of like a joint proposal. So he also suggests when they do have the proposal that they make a presentation to the board. So, I'd be open to that, and we can discuss that at that time. But again, he said about 2 weeks.
I think it would be impactful for them to make the presentation, right? Like maybe it would eliminate, we could get all of our the majority of our questions out in one
I agree.
swoop instead of us like coming back and forth because this is taking, quite a while, which I know these things do, but.
I would almost insist on that.
Yeah, I think everybody would rather have the presentation.
Great. Thank you.
Whether they participate remotely or here, but I think we need to have.
I'll encourage them to be here if possible, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I do have something else. I spoke with Woodard and Kern, and the applications for our possible filtration plant have all been, they're all up to date. They've all been put in. They're under review by the state. Right now, they're looking at, if it did get approved, we would be in the July, August of 2025 construction, meaning, a little over a year out. And as we know, things need to be engineered before they're built. So they suggest, if we're moving that way, to go ahead and start the engineering process of
Phase
getting,
one.
phase one, yes. Just an update on that. And that is a $7.5 million project estimated.
And that was, okay, tell me what that was for again?
That's for the manganese filtration system.
But that would only filtrate the manganese.
Yeah, and iron, I believe. Yeah. It's not a full-blown filtration
Right.
system. It's just targeting.
But with that project, we would have the room to add additional filtration if we wanted. Did you tell me that before?
I think that's what they said. Yeah, I think they said it would kind of be engineered for future,
To add more
for
filtration.
future expansion. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, no problem.
Chris, just to follow up on your ice pigging earlier, do we expect that that quote would be similar to what the last?
Yeah, I believe it's just north of 200,000. So I think 208 is what it is.
Is that roughly based on how many feet per?
Yeah, it's 10 loads, which is 10 days, which is what we did last time.
Okay.
And it's right on par with what we paid last time, I believe.
So either you or Wayne or Dustin or council, then since we've already used that company, are we comfortable that all we need is a quote, or do we need to
Well,
put that out?
that's the only company that does it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the
That's what I
timeline
thought.
as far as getting on the calendar, Chris?
Yeah, obviously, the sooner we get on there, the better. He said they're going to be in Michigan and Indiana and Kentucky in the summer, and that would be a perfect time for him to head over here and pick us up.
But we budgeted for this, right?
It
So-
is in the budget,
So,
yes.
what, we're just determining if we want to be on the schedule or not be on the schedule?
Right, yeah, I mean, it's a,
No, I think we do. I think what we ran into last time, and not knowing where this board is going with this topic, whether it's to sell or retain, to cancel that once we get on was like $40,000.
Okay.
So I guess that's where
We're spending, I think, if I may chime in here, my concern is that we're spending a lot of money. We have spent a lot of money with Woodard and Curran and now ice pigging, and that money, in my opinion, is out the window then if you turn around and sell, because that's not going to really increase the value of the water company, I don't think so. I think the board really needs to come to a decision and really quickly on what you want to do, and I think even the cost of getting the appraisals is going to play into this as well. So there's no point in getting appraisals if there's a majority that wants to keep the water company and invest in our own water company. That's, again, my opinion. And Wayne is spending a tremendous amount of time on this too. So I really wish you would all, give us your input either the next coming weeks or here at the meeting. So that's my 2 cents. Anyone else on miscellaneous? We'll be back at general comments from the audience. If anyone would like to make a general comment to the audience, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and try and keep your remarks under 5 minutes. Comments going once, twice. Comments are closed. We've been payment of the bills. I would ask for a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to pay the bills. Any discussion on the motion or question on any of the bills? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gatt?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert? Aye. Trustee Wigginton?
Aye.
The motion passes. The bills are paid. We would be at the treasurer's report. Madam Clerk.
As of the end of February, in the village-controlled accounts, there was $8,047,777.20. In the water-controlled accounts, there was $2,075,379.68.
Thank you. You've heard the treasurer's report. I would ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Been moved and seconded to adopt the report. Any questions on the report or discussion on the motion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gatt?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert? Aye. Trustee Wigginton?
Aye.
That passes. The report is approved. Trustee Gett,
Make a motion to adjourn.
is there a second?
Second.
There is. All those in favor of the motion to adjourn signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
We're adjourned.